Good morning, everybody. So, I want to start with the more important things, seeing that I'm trying to figure out the best way of saying this, but I am a man of my word, and a person, possibly a deity, has I talked him into watching one of my videos, a specific part of one of my videos, because I wanted to give him a little spook. And, well, I wanted to see if it would spook anybody, but I haven't got any feedback yet. Not really. Which, with 25 subscribers, that's to be expected, because, you know, you have to get more people to view it to get a good idea. Anyways, I told him if he viewed my video that I would give him a shout out. I don't think he YouTubes. I don't think he does anything that a shout out would really matter much, but he's a moderator for the Pixelmon server, one of them that pretty much exclusively talk to him. Like, there's a few of them that are alright. Well, I guess, like, since the reset, like, they're almost all different now, so, you know. Anyways, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. That is not what this is about. So I was trying to think the best way to do this shout out, and then my brain started to hurt, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So his screen name, the only name I know him by, is God, with 4 underscores. I think 4 underscores because, you know, 3 underscores was taken and 5 underscores is too flashy. I think that's what it is. And he did what I said, and I told him I'd give him he did most of what I said, so I told him I'd give him a shout out. So there it is. Congratulations, God. You might very well be the first person to ever get a shout out. And maybe not. I think there was another YouTuber that got a shout out on my channel, but you are in the rank of the top 10 people to ever get a shout out on my channel. Be proud. Second order of business. I don't completely know how and when it happened, but I blew my cover, and people around here know I YouTube. Not a lot of people, but I forgot, I guess, I went fishing with my brother like 2 or 3 years ago, and we met I met a YouTuber that does local haunted house videos. And I told him I'm into that kind of stuff, but it's not really on my channel, but I wouldn't mind, you know, collaborating sometime. And I guess, you know, saying that out loud, my nephew remembered it and asked me yesterday when I stopped by to pick up pierogies for XYZ reason, asked me what my channel was. So people around here do know. Somebody at least knows I'm a YouTuber around here, so not that big of a deal. I mean, my brother lives a town or 2 over, so I'm not sweating it too much. I mean, I was keeping it a pretty good secret, and I do kind of care. Like, I don't really want people to know, but at the same time, I don't know why I care, you know. I do what I do because it's all I can do. And if anybody has a problem with that, well, tough spit, because I'm not too happy about it either. So, you know, get over it. Worry about your own life, not mine. But like I said, I don't want the negative publicity. I'm not exactly I don't know where I stand anymore. Like, I don't know if I'm super hated, super well liked, or completely overlooked. And either way, I don't want locals trolling my posts. So that was probably the biggest reason why I was avoiding having people around here find out I'm a YouTuber in any capacity, whether I have 1 subscriber or 1 million subscribers. I didn't really want pay closer attention. Copper wire. Well, I think that's copper. The orange or the yellowish one might be steel. I have to check it, but I've been finding little niblets on the way up here. Now I'm not really doing scrapping today. I went to a whole other town already today, and I was seeing if they had cleanup, but I'm trying to keep it like spring cleanup where they throw out like vacuum cleaners and stuff. Apparently I either missed it or it hasn't happened yet, so I'm waiting to find out. I don't know if they keep it a secret because of people like me, or if they just, it's just something that's like a need to know basis, and I'm not someone that needs to know because I don't live in that borough or township or whatever. So, not sure exactly the specifics. But I was already in a whole other town, and someone picked me up. They drove me down here. The guy that I periodically talk about. Not exactly sure what's going on there. Apparently he made up friends with my uncle again. So now him and my uncle are cool, which doesn't affect me either way. And he's having a family issue, which also doesn't completely affect me. It bothers me a little bit because, like, his family kind of treated me with respect. So, for the most part, the family of his that I know treats me with some level of respect. So, I don't wish ill will towards anyone that treats me with the respect I deserve. So, yes. So it is kind of sad, but that's what life is, mostly sad. So, at least where I come from. I think that's the biggest order of business. I spent some of my scrapping money yesterday. I had to pass up on some copper niblets because I didn't have enough backpack space. I wanted to do some clothes shopping. So I did go and get 2 new shirts, 2 more pairs of pants, and something to maybe assist with my scrapping later. One issue I've been having, and it's going to be the end of this little clip until we get to the next spot, because I'm real close to town. Walking on roads is getting harder, so I'm thinking about buying like a better ankle brace. Can you even hear me with the water running? Probably not, huh? I'm thinking about getting a better ankle brace. And I think that's about it for more important purchases. But that'll be that. I don't have the medical knowledge, and most of the doctors I've talked to said that, it's supposed to go back to normal. That's not going to happen. So I don't know where to get help, and it's not something I'm knowledgeable enough about to help myself. It's like I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna figure that out on my own. So that's just, it is what it is, I think the best I can do is try to get it some grade A support and hope nothing bad happens. But alright, that's it. I'll catch you in a bit. I was going to pull the camera out earlier and make a little bit of a clip, saying my disgust on how nobody's out hiking. But because it's like 50 degrees, sunny weather, like perfect sweatpants, long sleeve shirt, and just walk for miles. But there's actually a car out there. Now, I'm on the better public trail, and like I said, I have no intention of finding anything, especially here. But figured I'd enjoy the day, do something a little more casual instead of, low-grade mountain climbing. It's like, what I did is like if real mountain climbing had like a baby version. That's kind of what I did. And that was, even when I freehand rock climbed, that was kind of like the baby version of actual rock climbing, because it wasn't all that far and the handholds were pretty distinguished. Not saying the 3 times I did it, I'm not saying I wasn't nervous once or twice, because I'm afraid of heights and whatnot, but it wasn't that difficult, and I was I had significantly more upper body strength, so I wasn't nearly as worried. If I were to try to actually freehand rock climb now, I'd probably be significantly more worried, because I have lots and lots and lots of leg strength, but I've definitely been skipping arm day, and I definitely weigh like 30 pounds more than I did when I freehand rock climbed before. And that's gonna segue us into the next topic. I've been complaining about getting old and fat. Can't do much about getting old. And in some situations, you can't do much about getting fat either. But I'm thinking about attempting a diet again. Like I did the ketos diet for quite a long time, back when I was working. But 2 key points there. I lived on my own, basically, and I had enough money to fuel it. So, like, I didn't have to go buy 99-cent hot dogs to get me through, or eat, Hostess tasty cake garbage, because it's cheap and filling. I had money to actually, buy semi-healthy food. So therein lies a big problem. Now, I don't live of my own accord, unfortunately. I pretty much live by somebody else's rules, and one of those things that are highly disappointing is the food selection for the house. And I know, you make your own choices, yada yada, you don't have to eat it. Sorry, but I had the ability to limit or eradicate temptation when I lived on my own. I don't have that ability when somebody keeps buying soda and, Hostess pies and junk. And you might say it's a question of willpower, and I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I had the willpower to know my limits. I had the willpower to know I had to get rid of the immediate temptation to make sure I'd be able to hold to a diet. Because the unfortunate truth with most people is if you work all day, or you go out all day, or you're busy all day, or you're sick, or something happens that you're not feeling up to, cooking or something, and you have the choice of making an omelet or grabbing, microwave ramen noodles. Most people reach for the ramen noodles because, it's on hand and easier. So it's a collective problem in my eyes. Now, as I said, I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish this, but I think if I change my go-to foods to things like eggs and cheese. They're both relatively cheap, relatively healthy. I mean, cheese isn't all that cheap, but I mean, eating a quarter pound of cheese is going to be so much more filling than eating like half a dozen of eggs. I could eat half a dozen of eggs and be hungry in 20 minutes. If I eat, a block of cheese, it keeps me going for a while. So I'm mulling over the idea. Living where I am, I did do a vegetarian thing for an entire month. But that's 31 days. That's not that hard. I want to be able to either commit to this for life or like a year. Like, it does. Let me put it to you this way, alright? With the way my body is, I was down to I think the lowest I was down to was 130, 140 pounds. It took me 7 years? 6 years? It took quite a few years for me to get to this point where I'm almost 200 pounds. So it took a long time to gain all that weight. Granted, I did lose muscle in my upper body, but my lower body I don't think really waned much. I think my muscle in my lower body stayed pretty on point. So, when you walk everywhere, that tends to happen. Excuse me. Also, it's proof that diet means more than workout. What you eat means more than workout. I want to know what those flowers are. I see them all, on occasion. These ones happen to be red, but usually on the hillsides, there's a ton of them, they're white, and they'd find, one or two red ones. These, you're finding a bunch of red ones. I guess you'd call that red. Maroon. Burgundy. You see a bunch of these ones. I don't see any white ones. So, I'm a little curious what they are. Because as I spend a significant amount of time in the woods, other than the last couple of years, I don't see them that often. Excuse me again. Speaking of willpower, I have not been smoking at all since I quit. I smoked 2 cigarettes, and that was a month and a half ago. So, pretty good. I don't even really think about it much. Like I said, it's much more difficult when I drink, but knowing that, I stay away from drinking. Which is unfortunate, because in my situation in this town, there's not much else to do besides work, drink, and hate yourself. So, without having a job and without drinking, what I've been doing is kind of scrapping metal as much as possible and, getting ready for the yard sale. But when that's done, what am I going to do? I really don't think I'm going to renew my membership at the club next year, because I found a way to kind of make it more reasonable, but after the bad experience and the raising the prices of the drinks, and it's not like I actually have friends there. I mean, I talk to a person or two, but it's almost kind of embarrassing, because, I know I'll... It's basically like playing video games. Yeah, they exist. Yeah, we talk on occasion, but it's never gonna lead to much. It's not gonna be like lifelong friendships are gonna be made, drinking and wasting time. So yeah. Anyways, I mean, part of me doesn't really want any type of mental, physical, or emotional relationship with anybody here. Part of me. Because, well, gotta go. Here comes a jogger. Yeah, so, again, I think the only person on the trail just passed me, so should be clear selling unless somebody comes from the other end. So, anyways, yeah, I don't really particularly want to build any kind of relationship here. I don't really want to be here, and the way there are personal problems and there are obvious problems there's problems that are kinda in my head that I let get to me that I shouldn't. Like the whole, I don't really like the idea of people thinking they know me because I grew up here. Like, that's more my problem, because I'm sure in a lot of aspects, people don't look at me that way. I just automatically stereotype that because that's just how I feel. And that's kind of my kind of shortcoming, But there are problems where, the mob mentality that I mention and I depict in my videos is very real here. Like, it's like everybody's born into their own little group. You got the small town drama. Like, that is very factual. And it's not really something I want to be part of. To me, a lot of the things that happen here, whether it be from, whatever it may be from, is kind of absolutely disgusting. And, swingers. Let's talk about swingers. Swingers are when a male, a female, two males, two females, they kind of swap partners. Sometimes with each other's permission, sometimes only one does it. Some, rules vary depending on who you are and what you're into. Now, I met some of these people. The wife had a bit of a thing for me, I think, and it's just not for me, and that was like super weird for them, because I'm like, I like you guys, I like to chill out, and I'm not saying I've never had meaningless one night things. There have been times that too much alcohol has been involved, or an opportunity presented itself that I decided to just roll with. But it's not something I'm proud of and not something I want in my life. I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, I want to meet somebody, fall in love, and get married. Not really. I mean, it's unrealistic in a way. I want to meet somebody that has the same mindset that I kind of want this to last. I kind of want to see where this can go. But I don't want to have the fabrication in my mind that it's going to be forever. So, 6 months, a year, and kind of, give it a real shot. And if it works, it works. But just finding somebody, plucking a person out of a crowd, and thinking like it's going to last forever is foolish. It's foolish. And going into a relationship with a person like me, and thinking that, oh, it's just going to be a free-for-all, that's definitely not going to work, because that's not something I'm into. What brought this up? How did I get in this conversation? I don't know how I got in this conversation. Oh, I was talking about hooking up with people here. So, I guess I really can't say most anymore, probably more than half of my relationships were with people out of town, whether when I was out of town or the occasional long distance thing. Oh, excuse me. And that's for the magnitude of reasons that I presented to you earlier. I don't like a lot of people's outlooks on relationships here. I don't like the mob mentality. I don't like that everyone's born into their group. I don't like people that look down on other people. It's just a lot of things about this place truly make me think that someday people are going to be walking down the street wearing hoods, carrying torches. Like, not playing. Like, it may be a bit of an over-exaggeration, but there are times that I actually think that that's going to happen someday. Like, and I absolutely hate it. It's like, it has a lot of the hive mind kind of ideas, and individual freedom and individual thought is just part of being human. And when you take that away, it just makes things weird. Halfway's there. Halfway's to where? I don't know. Halfway's to however far I decide to go. I mean, I don't know. I got all tangent-y. Got real tangent-y. Like, I guess I can kind of see, in a way, I can kind of see where being with the same person indefinitely could get boring. But I guess, like, in a more carnal sense, for the man of the picture, it's really not that much different. In its most basic form. So, when a man decides that they're going to be like this player or swinger or whatever, like, I think a lot of it weighs on personality and outward appearance more than technique or the act being different. So, and then for like, you know, we gotta change the subject. I'm gonna get like, I'm getting too into this. You want to hear a funny story? So, a couple days ago, can't remember how long now, might have been 2 days ago, I haven't been sleeping well, so some things run together. I guess it was probably like 4 in the morning, maybe 5 in the morning. I was in the I want to sleep, too tired to move, but not really asleep phase, and I had like a waking dream, I suppose, whatever you'd call it. And my brain was like, did you brush your moose today? Like, a physical animal, like I even kind of pictured it, like a pet moose. And my brain was like, you know how you have those, did I turn off the stove? Did I lock the door? Well, my brain was like, did you brush your moose today? And my brain actually, like, fact-checked it. Like, I can remember this kind of happening. It was like, wait a second, whoa, you ain't got a moose. And it actually snapped me fully awake. And I was like, that is like the weirdest, probably one of the weirdest occurrences that had to do with sleeping that I can think of, off like the top of my head. I actually told the Dollar General girl about it. I was like, you know how I woke up this morning? Yeah, that was bloody weird. Bloody weird. Alright, I'm gonna go for a minute. I'm getting to about where the tunnel is, and that's where people usually chill. And I'm running out of things to talk about. So, I'll catch you in if I find anything to do. That's a monumentous occasion. Ran into 2 more people. That's like, no, 3 more people. That's 4 people total in one day. Something must be going on. 4 people out moving besides me. Anyways, I realized I did not really go into detail about the ketose diet, and I don't know if I ever did. The reason I ever participated or tried to do the ketose diet, did do the ketose diet for about, I think it was somewhere between 9 months to a year. I had a few reasons. One, to me, it was one of the easiest ones for me to follow, because I don't want to say I don't like sweet food, but a lot of the staples that people eat, potato chips and soda, I don't really like them. So it made things significantly easier for me than trying to do like a different kind of diet, like low fat or something. The ketose diet I followed, the ketose diet in general, is basically avoiding your diet of basically all carbs. Like, I think it's basically 10% carbs, 10% carbs, 30% fat, and then 60% protein. No, reverse that. 10% carbs, 30% protein, 60% fat. And it puts your body in a state of ketosis, which for diabetics, it's you're familiar with this word. It basically, like, your body metabolizes sugars to get you moving, to keep your energy up. Depriving your body of those sugars, like a diabetic would, puts your body in a state of ketosis, which your body decides, like, hey man, you know what? We're chewing down a bunch of well blubber. We're not eating the grains and the sugars. So we're going to flop over and, we're going to start burning fat to get energy. And from my understanding, that's basically the bare bones science lesson of how the ketoacidosis diet works. Now, apparently something I learned recently is there are in fact 10 different diets. I don't understand that, To me, the ketose diet is extremely low amount of carbs. Put your body in a state of ketosis. Live your life normally. You lose weight. I don't know what these other 10 ways are. The reason I even learned this is I dated a girl that had diabetes, type 2, the incurable kind. And, she passed away, so it's not really, I don't want to act like I'm saying anything bad about her, but, because the relationship was fairly good overall. But she was moderately immature and pretty lax when it came to her health. So, considering I have a bit of drive to be a better person and a bit of a drive to be healthier, and the ketose diet seemed to be something that would fit that bill, and she could use it if I learned, I went for it. So I learned quite a good deal of information on the ketose diet, and later on down the line, I actually hooked up with another chick, and her father had diabetes, but he had type 1, I think, the manageable one. So it spiked my interest a little more. Weirdly enough, because the guy was kind of a jerk to me. Well, understandably, I guess I'd be a jerk to any guy involved with my daughter. But overall, we had a level of respect for each other, I think. So, So, you know, it spiked my interest to pick it up again, and this was a while ago. So, now I know a great deal about this diet, and I lost my train of thought. Basically, in a nutshell, the ketos diet is limiting yourself to the least amount of carbs as humanly possible. 10% is recommended. You can eat more if you're, it's a workout day, if you're doing something more strenuous. But 10% is like the rule of thumb. So for me, for instance, when I was doing it, I was eating 4,000 calories a day, pretty on the regular. It would vary depending on what I did that day, but 4,000 calories a day on the regular. And so it would be like, I guess like a bowl of cereal would be like 10% of your carbs. That would be it. That'd be all the carbs you could eat. Then you'd just be eating chicken breasts and hard-boiled eggs. And basically, I don't remember following the 60% fat rule. I don't remember really following that. I was trying to build, so I was eating, a lot of lean chicken, a lot of lean fish, a bunch of like whole Greek yogurts, none of that zero fat stuff, because that's actually worse for you. So I wasn't like really, I didn't follow a diet, I guess. It was the ketos diet, but my thing was always, it was easier to just be like the least amount of bad stuff as possible. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. That's kind of what I want to try to do now. Not so much, be like, I'm eating 6,000 calories of lean protein and going to the gym and, nothing with more than 14 grams of carbs is passing my lips. No, that's I don't want to be ridiculous about it, but I kind of want to follow that general idea. And I think I've been walking for a while, so I said I wasn't doing any big hills today, and I stuck to that, but this is probably going on to be about 3.5 miles at this point, and that's a bit more than I'm planning on trying to take it easy to rejuvenate so I can hit one of these big hills again, but I don't want to do that too often in a row. I don't want to sit around. Once I get moving, I don't want to go back to the house because I'm afraid I won't go back out. And that's something that bothers me. Because, like, right now it's probably about 4 o'clock. And I'll go back thinking, okay, I'm going to go out tonight, maybe have a drink and play some pool. Or I'll go out tonight and take a walk. And I won't actually do it because I'll get back to the house and be like, oh, well, I already did something today. It just solidifies the fact that where I'm at and what I'm surrounded by is a bad influence. Because usually, and I mean, I gotta factor in the fact that I am in fact getting older, so my energy levels are definitely not in the best place they used to be. So I'm trying to accept that fact. But a lot of the things that cause me distress and harm and make me feel worse about myself is the fact that I have access to things that I don't want access to. It's like, I don't know how quitting smoking was so difficult, because I wasn't around people that smoked often. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, you know what, I'm done. And it finally worked. In which I kind of anticipated that in a way. that someday, eventually, in order for me to quit, I would just have to stop thinking about it. Just casually just not do it. And that's kind of how it worked. But like, it's so much harder to choose. I can't keep fresh food at the house all the time. Because I'm the one that goes and buys the groceries. Not only am I significantly limited on money, she's limited on money as far as that's concerned, or what she would give me towards food when I go out. If I take the bus, I can only carry so much on my back. Like I said, 30 pounds is pretty much my limit for reasonably moving. Like, I could probably carry 50 pounds, but to move without difficulty, 30 pounds is pretty much my limit. Before I become that over-encumbered Skyrim character, I'm walking like I gotta poop. No. So, I don't like to go shopping like every 2 weeks, because not only do I have to pay for the bus, and I gotta carry it on my back, you know, if I wait longer than that, the fresh food I buy goes bad. So it's just a double-edged sword. And the only shop in near my town doesn't sell anything really fresh food. So that's why I'm trying to get this garden started too. And for some reason that's being really stubborn. Alright, here comes the train. It's gonna get louder, so I'm gonna squeeze this in there somewhere. I already shot the outro. I'm done. Later. Yeah, because that's not creepy. In the middle of the woods. I think that's supposed to be Joseph and Mary, Christian religion, maybe? I mean, more than likely. It's definitely religious, and Mary's the most prominent female. Joseph was the pseudo-father, so it only makes sense. Still freaking weird, though. Alright. I actually ain't doing anything else. I'm headed back. But, well, probably. And I seen this when I was walking, I was like, alright. You don't see that every day.